Hey guys, what's up? It's me, CroffStudios here, and I'm finally here with my Series 6 of custom minifigures. And this series of minifigures includes a lot of minifigures that I don't really like that much, but it also includes a couple of minifigures in here that I really do like that just didn't make some of the other series. So we're going to get straight on to our first figure. Starting off our minifigures is the Apocalypse Prepper. So right here you can see he has a little bit of canned food right there in his left hand, basically the same color as his shirt right there. You can see it's just basically some type of canned food, and you can also see he has a gun in his right hand. So he has some nice supplies on him. He has that backpack, so obviously he's definitely ready for the apocalypse. You can see his crazy face right there, and you can see his pants right there, kind of like some SWAT pants right there, and he also has some really geared up torso printing as well. You can see his helmet right there is definitely cool for protection. So let's take a look at him without his backpack on. And here's him without his backpack on. You can see his back printing a bit. Second up is the Skeleton Warrior right here, and this guy basically goes along with the Skeleton King minifigure that I made in a different series. You can see his axe blade right there. His Brick Warrior is definitely a cool looking axe right there. Definitely a great job by Brick Warriors right there. You can see that awesome shield that he has as well. You can see that's actually an old Dementor torso with the skeleton arms. He has some really cool leg printing right there, and you can see his skeleton face right there. And his helmet is actually custom. I basically shaved off the wings. This was a helmet that came with like a dwarf minifigure back in Series 5, and I just shaved off the wings off the side of the helmet, so I think it looks a lot better right there, more polished and stuff. Then you can see the back right there. There's no back printing or anything, but he definitely looks like a cool figure. Third up for figures is probably one of my least favorite of the series, which is basically the Protester. This minifigure was kind of forced. I don't really like the parts used on him. They're very common pieces in city sets and such. You can see that torso right there. I gave him that Harry Potter magazine just as like a type of poster or sign that he's holding up protesting something. It wouldn't necessarily be that one, but it would be some type of poster or sign that he'd be holding up protesting something. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool concept for a figure. I didn't really transition it that well into a figure, but I did the best I could. You can see his back printing right there. So let's go on to our next figure. Up next for figures is the coach, or just any type of sports coach right here. And I really like this minifigure. I definitely like this one a lot. You can see his torso is basically a little jacket right there with a walkie-talkie in it. Give him a yellow walkie-talkie and also a little playbook right there for when he makes calls. You can see the little basically headphones going over him, which looks cool over his hat. I definitely think he looks like a sports coach. He has some short sleeves right there, and when you go onto the back, he also has some back printing, so that'd be kind of like the logo of the team or something. So I definitely think this is a cool figure. Another kind of boring minifigure in the series, but I thought it was kind of needed, is the Bicyclist. I thought this would be kind of a cool figure to include in the series, and I'm surprised they haven't made it yet. Probably because they don't want to put a bike mold inside of a minifigure packet, and I think it's worth more than that probably. But I think it would be kind of a cool figure to make. It's a very simple figure. You can see her right there. Her face right there kind of has a little scrape on it. She has her bicycle right there. And she also does have some back printing right there. So very simple minifigure, but I definitely think they should make this one. Up next for minifigures is the Gem Collector, and I think this is kind of a cool figure as well. You can see I gave him a little gem right there and also a little magnifying glass right there, which looks really cool so you can look at the gem. You can see his torso right there is nice looking. It's actually the same as the Time Traveler that I made a while ago. It's pretty cool looking. You can see he also has some nice leg printing right there and a kind of glass. He has glasses on his face right there. You can see the little Emmett hair that I gave him, and he also has some back printing. Simple minifigure, but I definitely think it'd be kind of a cool figure to get. Up next for figures is the World War II or old-fashioned Japanese soldier right here. And you can see he has the all-tan look to him with some basically ammo belt going across him. He definitely looks really cool. I like this figure. You can see I gave him the brown gun right there. Also the katana right there definitely looks cool on him. I think it's a very simple minifigure, but it's definitely a sweet-looking one. You can see his face right there, and also he does have some very cool back printing right there. So I definitely think this is a cool figure. You can army build and stuff like that, so it'd be kind of a cool figure in the series. Up next is a pretty crazy one, but I really like it, which is the Crazy Science Experiment right here. And you can see this is basically just a mutated kind of creature right here that came out of a science lab. He's basically a lab creation. He's a crazy mutant thing. You can see he has the goblin ears. I gave him some wings from a Galaxy Squad right there. He has a crazy looking face right there from Star Wars. He has the rock monster's arms right there, you can see. He also has some very cool leg printing. One of those legs is Kragger's. And I also gave him that really cool dark red flask, which is actually a Brick Warrior's accessory as well. And he has that green Clone Trooper torso. So definitely a crazy looking minifigure right here. You can see him from the back. So I definitely think it's a cool looking crazy minifigure. Up next for figures is the Beheader, and this is kind of a creepy medieval figure, and this is the dude that basically chops off people's heads in medieval times. I know it's kind of a gruesome minifigure, but I thought it'd be kind of a cool guy to add in the series. You can see that big Hagrid axe that I gave him right there. Those are really cool pieces. I only have one of those, actually. And you can see his face right there is from a Ninja Turtle set, but I definitely think it looks like a cool mask, and you can see he has some old-fashioned knight's armor on him as well, and he also has a skull in his hand, which is pretty cool. And I gave him a cape. I'm not going to show his back printing or anything, but he's a simple minifigure, and I definitely think he's a pretty cool addition to my minifigure series. Up next for figures is actually one of my favorites of the series and one of the first ones I made, which is the Shepherd right here, and I really like this guy a lot. You can see he has a staff right here, which basically is there to herd the sheep or goats or whatever he's herding right there. You can see his very cool kind of cape thing that he has over him. Normally they would be wearing brown, but I didn't have one of these in brown, unfortunately. But I basically used a gray one instead, and I definitely think it looks cool. You can see his face right there with the long hair in the back. And I basically just gave him the Gandalf torso, nothing really much to it. And with him I also included a goat. I would have included a sheep with him, but I don't really have one, but it's definitely a cool figure. Up next for figures is Elvis Presley right here, and this is the best interpretation I could make of him. I didn't really have a ton of pieces that could look like him, but I think this is the best version of him. You can see he has a red guitar right there, he has his glasses right there, he also has that awesome hair that Elvis Presley has, and then you can see as you move his arm, you can see his torso a little bit better. He just kind of has his basically chest showing right there, and he also has some nice pants right there. I don't really know if this definitely looks like Elvis Presley, but it's the best thing I can make that's close to him. I really wanted to make this guy figure, so definitely a cool figure in my opinion. Up next for figures is the Survivalist, and I thought this was a pretty cool figure as well. You can see he has some old-fashioned legs right there, basically cowboy boots, and also a very cool decked-out torso right there with tools and stuff on it. You can see I gave him a fish right there and also a nice little hatchet piece. That's a very nice little custom hatchet piece. It's not from Brick Warriors, but it's from another awesome company that I found. You can see his face right there definitely looks cool. It's kind of a serious face right there. And when you turn him around, he also does have some very cool back printing. So definitely a cool looking survivalist minifigure right here. Up next for minifigures is a role player, I guess you could call. You can see his sword and kingdom hat right there is pretty cool. He's basically supposed to be a kid dressed up in an outfit that's supposed to be like a role character in a game, kind of like how people play role games and stuff like that, where you play as like a king or some type of medieval character, and this kid is dressed up as a king right here. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool thing. I guess another name for it's a LARP. You can see him right there. He has a shield and the knight's armor and stuff like that. Definitely looks cool, and you can see he just has some regular torso and a face. So I thought that was pretty cool, and you can see his cape right there has some stars on it. So I thought that was a pretty nice figure. Up next for minifigures is the Futuristic Cop right here. I thought this guy was really cool looking. You can see his high-tech gun that I gave him is actually kind of an old custom gun that I made. I just decided to give it to him. It's not really a good-looking gun. I just kind of cut some sides off of it to make it look different. But I thought I'd just give it to him. You can see his handcuffs right there. He also has some nice armored legs. I really like his torso right there with that awesome vest. It's actually custom from a different company. You can see his visor right there is really cool. At the time I got this armor is actually a prototype at Brick Fair, and you can see when you take off his helmet right there, you can see his face right there is pretty cool. Has a lot of decked out stuff on his face, and he also has some crazy back printing. And you can see it says star on the back of his vest right there. So I thought this was a really cool high-tech cop. Up next for minifigures is the War Veteran, and I definitely think this is a really cool figure. Both of my grandpas served in wars and stuff like that, so I thought I'd definitely include a minifigure with this. And you can see his, basically he has a crutch right there with a missing leg, and you can see he also has an eye patch. I'm not saying all veterans have that, I'm not saying that at all, but I thought this would be kind of a cool figure to make, and I wanted to give him some details that some veterans do have. You can see he has a very cool newspaper right there, and I definitely respect all of our veterans and stuff from the United States. Definitely love what they do for this country, and you can see he's definitely really cool looking right there, so I thought this was a cool minifigure to make. Moving on to our last figure in the series, which is the bowling player, and I've wanted to make this player for quite some time, and I actually had him done for a long time, but I just haven't put him in a series. I've just been kind of putting him off. So can see what he looks like right here. He has some short sleeves right there. He has the Homer Simpson torso. Gave him a bowling pin and a bowling ball, both custom. Right there, you can see what those look like, and you can see his face with some spiked hair. Very simple minifigure, but I definitely think LEGO should make a bowling player. I'm not sure why they haven't done that yet. They made tennis, they made a football player, they made a hockey player. Definitely think they should make some also some smaller sports players as well, like bowling and stuff like that. So I definitely think they should make that. So I thought this was a cool figure. Alright guys, so that's basically it for this minifigures review. I hope you've enjoyed. I've worked a while on this custom minifigure series, and it's just taken me a long time to get some more minifigures racked up for my new series. And I've been kind of short of ideas, so this is probably going to be the last minifigure series. I could barely finish this one, honestly. So this is going to be the last of the minifigure series for custom series, I guess you could say. If I can pull one out, maybe I will do another one, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this minifigure series, and I hope you've enjoyed this overall playlist and stuff, and series of my minifigure custom sets and stuff like that. So this is going to be the last one, unfortunately, but I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you comment and subscribe.